I'm Nikki Woods, and we are going beyond the studio on the Tom Joyner Morning Show on BlackAmericaWeb.com with Christelyn Karazin, who is well, I don't want to say the subject, but the brainchild behind a new kind of dating reality show called Swirl. How are you?
I am doing very well this morning.
Now you are
for having me.
You are welcome. You are changing the face of relationships everywhere. How is that for pressure?
That is no pressure.
No pressure?
No.
Tell me a little bit about Swirl, the concept first, and then how we've gotten to a reality show, and then we'll talk about the show. But tell me about you in the concept Swirl.
Okay. Well, the show is called Swirlr, and I was approached by the executive producers Rob Thompson and Sean Miles. Sean Miles was the producer for Ice Loves Coco.
Right.
And he thought, wow, we've got all of these different reality shows, but there's no reality shows about what is a reflection of America now, the diversity of America. The whole multicultural movement, the fact that, there's such a high number of people claiming more than one race on the census. So, interracial relationships and marriages are happening, but we're not seeing a lot of that reflected in our media. And in fact, when they were pitching the show, they had me in mind because of my background with writing the book Swirling, How to Date, Mate, and Relate, Mixing Race, Culture, and Creed, and also because of the blog Beyond Black and White, which is primarily about Black women who are in interracial relationships. So they'd been pitching this, and the media execs were like, this is 2013, this is 2014, interracial relationships is a non-issue. Oh, really? So when the Cheerios commercial came out, right, and there was the outrage, and when Kanye West was called, said that Kim Kardashian, somebody said that Kim Kardashian is an in-lover, really, it's a non-issue? I mean, come on. I think people are still kind of uncomfortable about the fact that it's still an issue, and I think that's where the pushback comes. So we decided we were going to do the show ourselves.
And so tell me, because I don't, and maybe I'm just oblivious to it. I tell you, I come from a different culture where, my mom is like the only one who married a black man. So everybody else, it's an interracial relationship. So it's really not unfamiliar to me. Mm-hmm. But is it still true in America that most black women tend to date African American men?
Absolutely. Okay. And most black women, up until recently, and I know because I have the receipts of all the letters that I get of black women who almost felt like they needed permission to swirl, that they, up until recently, thought that non-black men weren't even interested in them.
So can I tell you that the term swirl, I had heard it before, but I really didn't understand it until Orange is the New Black. Have you seen that show?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, oh, that's the swirl. Okay. Yeah. So what are some of the issues that you find unique to your relationship and other relationships where black women are marrying outside of their race?
I think black women, and this is not to say that black men don't get it either, but I think black women get a special kind of shade when it comes to dating interracially. We are accused of being the white man's bed wench, a sellout.
Wench.
Yes. We're the bed wench.
Yeah.
I've been called the white man's bed wench. I've been married for 12 years. I'm like, really?
Right.
Is that what the slave master is doing now? But we're told that the only reason we swirl anyways because no black man was checking for us. I mean, I've gotten that too, that you're swirling because no black man wanted you. Just a special kind of, shade and hatred. And we also have, there's some social consequences that are involved because black women are seen as like as the community. We're supposed to hold it down. We're supposed to be the ones that keep the community going. And if Black women are, going outside of the community, what happens to the community? So I think that people are still, they're more concerned about that. But what I say is that just because I married a white guy doesn't mean I'm not Black anymore.
Right.
You go where you find love. And the purpose of the show is to, sort of challenge people. It's not just about Black and white. So I want to be clear. It's why we call it multicultural, because we have Asian people and Hispanics, and we want it to just be about the flavor of America, about just how people are coming together and getting to know each other, and the interesting dynamics that happen when those people get together. Because believe me, it's interesting. It does get pretty dramatic.
I can imagine. So for the setup of the show, what are you doing? Are you following couples around, or you?
The basis of the show is that I bring in two people who have never dated interracially before. They want to date different, and so I interview 5 potential candidates based on what the interests are of my clients, who say, okay, I'm looking for this type of person. I want her to be athletic. I want her to like the outdoors. We have a farm, blah, blah, blah. And so I interview 5 candidates, and me and my partner, Jordan Harbinger, who is a body language expert, we whittle it down to 3 candidates, and then they ultimately choose. And so we follow their first date and how it goes, and we just see, is this a connection? Is it not? It gets really interesting.
And I wonder, if at some point, and I guess in any relationship, you kind of get a mirror to yourself. They say you've probably learned more about yourself in a relationship than you do when you're single. Are there any issues that are stirred up about, self-identity or self-esteem issues?
Absolutely. And the issue of race is discussed very candidly, to the point where I think that it could bring a national conversation with one of these couples that has a date. I can't give away more than that.
Okay.
But what I think this show might do is to just allow us to be a little bit more naked with our feelings about, coming together, diversity, what is politically correct, challenging old notions, and, sort of going into adventure territory. It's pretty exciting.
All right. So how are we going to see it? How are we going to check this out, Christelyn?
You're going to see it on YouTube. Well, that's...
So silly.
That's where it's going to start.
Okay.
We're hoping that, it'll be picked up. We like the fact that it's on YouTube because we're completely in control.
Absolutely.
There's no barrier of entry. And so the first episode will be shortly after Valentine's Day. We have our launch, which is February 14th, where we have a sneak peek, actually excerpts of the episode that's going to be shown. So that'll be interesting. And then we have the full episode happening shortly after Valentine's Day.
All right. Well, we'll have to have you back once we see the episode that's going to start the national conversation.
I want to. Let me come back, please.
We would love to have you. So it's Swirlr, and we can just search for it?
Yeah, well, actually, if you go to swirlr.tv, that's SWIRLR.TV, it'll direct you right to our channel. Make sure to tell everybody to please subscribe so that they'll instantly have updates of when the episode comes out, when a new episode is gonna show up.
Absolutely. All right. Well, good luck to you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We will definitely have you back. So it's swirlr.tv, correct?
Yes.
All right. Yes. Christelyn, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.